All right, we're recording.
Okay, welcome to Fresno City Toastmasters. I'm your president, Farron Jacobson. Looks like we don't have any guests today, all members. Welcome back, everybody. And also, Taylor cannot show up for her role today as a general evaluator. Would anyone else like to take that on?
I already said that I would.
Oh, okay, thank you, Phil. Did not know that. All righty, well, I don't think we have any new business. Oh, other than I participated in the district speech competition. I was the only female, by the way, in both competitions. I got second place in the humorous competition, so I am the alternate if the first place winner does not go on May 1st to the, is it state or something, whatever the next level is.
That was district you just did?
Yeah.
Maybe it's regional or something?
Something. So I'm the alternate.
Way to go, Farron.
Thank you.
Great job.
Thank you. It was fun. It was a good experience. Any other new business that I'm missing? Board? Nothing?
I don't think so.
I didn't think so. All right, I'll just pass it on over to the Toastmaster of the day, Denise DeBenedetto, to present our theme for the day.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon and welcome to St. Patrick's Day Eve, I suppose we can call this. The theme of the day is St. Patrick's Day, and I've never really been one who celebrates. I've never really gone out, and I think maybe twice in my entire life. I know for a lot of people, Irish Americans, it's a big deal. They love to celebrate. Most big cities have a parade and big celebrations. So I Googled real quick because I am at work, just a little bit of the history. You know, obviously I've heard the folklore about him being a saint and, you know, scaring out all the snakes in Ireland, which we know is just another way. I believe that he was ministering. I could have this wrong. And it was really more, he was running out like evil or non-believers or something. Correct me if I'm wrong. And that's where the snake story came in. But something I did read, I thought was interesting, is that the shamrock is something that he used to teach the trilogy to pagans in his ministry. I just thought that was interesting. I don't know if it's necessarily true fact, but so I'm sure when we get to our table topics, we might have some discussions on what people do for St. Patrick's Day, but that's all I have to present to you at this time. So I will introduce our general evaluator for today, who will be Chanel West.
Thank you, Denise. I thought that St. Patrick's Day was last week, so that tells you guys all how excited I am to celebrate it. I am in a public place right now and it's a little bit noisy, so I'm going to keep my role brief as I am introducing our evaluation team today. So first I would like to call up Farron, who is our grammarian, to introduce the word of the day.
Thank you, Chanel. I think I have it copied. Let me see if it pastes. Okay, perfect. The word of the day is now in our chat. I tried to stay along with the theme, and the word of the day is fortuitous. It's an adjective. It means happening by accident or chance rather than design, or happening by a lucky chance. It can also mean fortunate. So try to use the word fortuitous in your speeches today or evaluations, and I will keep track and let you know who used the word at the end of the meeting. Fortuitous.
Good word, very appropriate for St. Patrick's Day. And next, I would like to invite to the podium Winnie, who is going to be our all counter today. Winnie, can you please explain that role for us?
Yes, thank you, Chanel. As the counter, I will take a note to someone who say us, I'm so start over, okay, like, you know, because that words not are part of the presentation. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Winnie. And next, I will introduce Storm, who is going to be our timer for the meeting today. Storm, could you please explain that role?
Good afternoon, everybody. Fellow Toastmasters, I am your timer for the day. I will be timing everybody's speech and table topics. The speech for the Toastmaster will be 5 to 7 minutes, and I will be using the Toastmasters app right here, and I will make sure to show the time. And also for table topics, it is 1 to 2 minutes, and also right here.
Thank you, Storm. And then finally, I would like to introduce Ty, who is going to be our Zoom master for today. Ty, could you please explain that role?
From what I understand, I will be pinning and unpinning people so we can highlight them as they talk, and just being the general of the Zoom, I guess.
Excellent, thank you. And I will be overseeing the meeting to make sure that everything runs smoothly and that we are on time with our agenda. So with that, I would like to reintroduce Denise to introduce our speaker for today.
Thank you, Chanel. We have one speaker today, but it isn't a very important speaker. Joey has been a Toastmaster for quite some time. I don't know exactly when he started, but let's just say he's probably the most senior member of our club and probably has been for a while. He will be giving his speech titled, "Ma, Get Me Some Meatloaf." This speech type is the Visionary Communication Path, Level 3, Develop a Communication Plan. Joey is an entrepreneur that learned how important delegation is the hard way. In this speech, he's going to outline the communication plan he's developed to train and onboard his 2 virtual assistants. Here's Joey with his speech titled, "Ma, Get Me Some Meatloaf."
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Ma, give me some meatloaf. Ma, I don't know where she's at. I never know what she's doing. There's a famous quote. If you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. If you teach a man to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. In this speech, we're going to talk about beware of the bottlenecks, what is freedom, and how to duplicate yourself. You probably maybe have recognized that little horrible portrayal of Will Ferrell in Wedding Crashers. Anybody seen Wedding Crashers? Remember that scene? I know it wasn't quite as cameo friendly or Emmy friendly or whatever you want to call it. But you have for those that haven't seen it, there's this grown man in a Hugh Hefner robe sitting on the couch talking to his buddy who's the wedding crasher. But Will Ferrell is the funeral crasher. He crashes funerals to pick up on chicks, and the wedding crashers do the same thing, but at weddings. And Will Ferrell's sitting there in his mom's home wearing his Hugh Hefner red satin robe, and he's yelling to his mom to get him some meatloaf. Now, some of you mamas out there have heard that, maybe not for meatloaf, but in our house, we hear, "Ma, give me some milk," or "Ma, give me some pepperoni," or "Ma, give me a candy." You notice what's missing there. Why is it always Ma and not Dad? Because Dad has delegated and Mom has not. So you hear a lot of Ma in our house, and now Ma is starting to delegate a little bit more. There's another quote from a famous show, The Office. Michael Scott is, "Do I need to be liked? Absolutely not. I like to be liked. I enjoy being liked. I have to be liked. But it's not like this compulsive need, like my need to be praised." Michael Scott in The Office. Now, some out there like that attention of, "Ma, get me some meatloaf." But for me, I would rather teach the man to fish to feed him for a lifetime, so that things that obviously they aren't going to kill themselves getting, they're not, if there's something high up on the shelf that I'm going to go get that. Obviously, I don't want them climbing up on the shelf and slipping and falling and hitting their head. But there's certain things that I will delegate, and I will say, typically, if I'm the only one in the room or Ma is gone, and I hear that famous saying where they're asking for something, it will be followed. I will respond with, "You have 2 legs." And then if they fight me on it, I'll say, "You have 2 strong legs." And typically that's when they go and get what they need to get. Now, one of the things that kept me in my business from delegating out was that nobody can do this better than I can. And that's a tough thing to get over for really anybody, but business especially, because you just think you're the best at doing social media. You're the best at doing the emails. You're the best about doing outreach. But the reality is you can duplicate yourself, which we will get into in a little bit. But before we get there, I want to talk about what is freedom. And that's going to mean different things to different people. So freedom, do you major in minor things? Meaning, do you check email all the time, every day, all day? Are you one of those that will, you email somebody, you get a response, and then you respond, and then you respond, and you respond. It's always that last word respond. It's just one person. Imagine having 5, 10, 15, 20 emails a day and having to do that all day, where email, one response is fine, and then the next day you can respond again if that's the case. So majoring in minor things, do we do that? Another question, what is the difference between writing the TPS reports, if for those that have watched another Office show or movie, Office Space, what's the difference between writing the TPS reports versus the person asking to write the TPS reports? For those of you who've seen that movie, you see Bill Lumbergh, the manager, comes over and says, "Yeah, I need those TPS reports pronto." And it's every day, it's the same thing. "I need those TPS reports. Did you get those TPS reports? Did you get those TPS reports?" And it's just over and over and over and over. So what's the difference between writing them and being the person that's telling the person to write them? Another one, what would it mean to you to not have to clean, to not have to cook, to not have to do the yard, or at our business, answering emails, making sales calls, following up with white glove customer service? What could or would you do instead with the free time? If you could hire somebody else and create what we call duplicating ourselves, and this was the message that I had to formulate and put together, was creating what's called an SOP, or a standard operating procedure. And basically the idea, some of you have read our timer for the timer job SOP for our Toastmasters. Some of you have read the grammarian SOP. I know Ty, I sent him the video Zoom person SOP, standard operating procedure. And it's really a step-by-step framework to just follow the steps, and that you'll be able to do what I do, or what Farron does, or Denny, or Chanel, whenever we do those specific roles. And it's a way for us to duplicate ourselves so we don't have to be the only one doing the Zoom master. So a couple things that are important in a standard operating procedure, and this is something that I've had to do in my business this last year, made me realize that I couldn't do everything myself. One is, you got to give the purpose of the task. What is the meaning of the task that you're creating a standard operating procedure? Again, it could be how to take out the trash. There may not be a lot of steps involved with that, but part of the barrier to actually taking the trash out is, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to put it. I don't know. And you can spell that all out in a standard operating procedure with a purpose. Okay, why do we need to take the trash out? And you can get as dirty and disgusting as you want with that, but there needs to be some sort of purpose. And then the last thing that's really important are the 3 S's. You send the SOP to the person to study, you sample it, so you show them how to do it, or a piece of it and how to do it, and then they show you how to do it. So it's those 3 things: study, sample, and show. And when we do those things, we don't get the "Ma, where's my meatloaf?" So we talked about today. If you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. And if you teach a man to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. Talked about how to beware of being the bottleneck, what is freedom, and how to duplicate yourself. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Joey. I felt like you were really speaking to me today. I can use some of those tips. Well, that was great. And we are going to go right into our table topics because Joey was our speaker today. Our table topics master is Brent Paulson. So what do you have for us, Brent?
Thank you, Denise. I have two themes today to reflect on. Of course, first one is going to be similar to our theme. I'm posting them now in the chat box. Our theme today is St. Patrick's Day. So what is your favorite St. Patrick's memory? I know myself, I have two St. Patrick's memories. Flying to Pittsburgh to visit a fraternity brother, and being from the Midwest originally, I did not realize how important St. Patrick's Day was to other parts of the country. And my fraternity brother and his girlfriend at the time went downtown Pittsburgh in between all the skyscrapers. One of the first times being in a major city like that was very interesting, as well as partaking in a St. Patrick's Day tradition with all the people of Pittsburgh. And then a couple years ago, living in Richmond, Virginia, understanding how important the Irish were to that area of the country, and really partaking of the parades for St. Patrick's Day, as well as the craft fairs and all the St. Patrick's Day traditions that Richmond, Virginia has to offer. So experiencing the whole day of St. Patrick's Day was a special memory for me. And then the second topic was National Women's Day was March 8th. In your life, what woman in your life has helped shape your life, whether it be a grandma, an aunt, sister,
Frozen.
Your best friend? So those are my two topics today, and you're more than welcome to take a stab at either one. Do we have a volunteer that'd like to go first?
This is Denny.
Denny?
Hi, everyone. I can answer both questions today because I've got volume up here a little bit. The woman that has influenced my life the most certainly is my mother. And little echo there. My mom has been very influential in my life. And also, I'm sorry, I'm hearing an echo. Do you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay. Let's see if I can. There. Okay. I think I'm sorry. Go ahead to the next person.
Okay, we'll come back to you, Denny. Chanel, did you raise your hand?
I didn't raise my hand, but I can go. As to the first question, I have 0 St. Patrick's Day memories that stand out to me. So I'm going to go ahead and answer question number 2, to which I could have multiple answers. I think there's been several women in my life who have been very much a role model and impactful. The one who stands out to me right now, though, is my mentor, who I've known for 10 years. She was actually my high school Spanish teacher, and we developed a relationship even after I graduated high school and have continued to stay very close. And she has taught me a couple of really important things. Number one, that I can be safe to be vulnerable with somebody and be completely honest about who I am, what I'm struggling with. She was kind of the first person that I was really able to open up to and talk about not just the good things that were going on in my life, but also the bad things, because we all have that, right? So she gave that to me, which was very valuable. And then secondly, she's also taught me that I am able to be safe with somebody without feeling fear of judgment, because she has been very accepting of my struggles, the things that I've gone through, but has never looked down on me or treated me as less than, or as somebody who was a second-class citizen or not worth getting to know. So I'm very grateful for those two things.
Great, thank you, Chanel. Appreciate your sharing with that. Is there any other person that would like to volunteer? Denny, you're back and have your audio
There's no
corrected.
echo.
So we'll let you share.
Thank you. So the person is my mom, who's been the most influential in my life. Really, she's 92 on St. Patrick's Day. So St. Patrick's Day has always been significant in that regard. And we went, we had a sort of a family gathering a couple of years ago when my mom turned 90. And even though the circumstances of it were that her husband at the time was at the end of his life, so that was really the reason we were there, but it was also a time when her birthday was happening. And so we were able to put a crown on her head and do all these fun things with my mom, who's still very much like a playful little girl, lots of fun. And everything that I have that's colorful, earrings, everything that you see, when you see something that I'm wearing and you go, oh, that's so cute, it's because my mom gave it to me. So, my colorful mother.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Great, thanks for sharing, Denny. Is there somebody else that would like to share a favorite St. Patrick's Day memory or a woman that influenced you in your life? Storm?
Here, let me see. I don't have a St. Patrick's Day memory. There was not much of one. I would go to, my early school memory was going to school and my mom would dress me in a green sweater. I mean, this is not green, but that's green. Can't see it very well, but I would have a green, something like this right here on the timer. I remember everybody had green on. Some people didn't, and they were just kind of like picked on every once in a while. It's like, hey, it's a little playful, whatever. And then as kids, it's like, oh no, people don't like me. And so it could either be like a really happy thing or a traumatic thing, because you're being picked on because you're not wearing any green. Where's it at? Show me. You don't have it on. It was just a lot of fun. I feel I was never exposed to the culture or the history or the love for St. Patrick's Day. It was just a holiday. I just don't have any memories yet. And in the future, I hope to have experience with other people who actually appreciate it a lot more than I do. Thank you.
Great, thanks. Anyone else that would like to reflect on any of those topics? Farron, how about sharing a little bit with the group?
Thanks, Brent. I'm sitting here thinking there's so many women that have influenced me. I can't just pick one. I'm going to go the easy way and talk about my St. Patrick's Day memories. I remember when I was, I think in first grade, our teacher set up this whole thing on St. Patrick's Day where there were leprechaun traps. And there was evidence of this leprechaun that had been all around our classroom. And I just thought it was the coolest, most magical thing. We were looking for the leprechaun all day at school, and he left like little glittery footprints, and he left candies and different treasures and things like that. And that was probably my favorite St. Patrick's Day memory. As I got older and, into drinking age, and St. Patrick's Day, I feel, is a very drunk holiday. People are like, oh, you drink like the Irish on St. Patrick's Day. I don't really have a lot of memories because blacked out, drunk. And I don't really care for beer, so I didn't really enjoy the green beer. So I would go with the green cocktails, which was a terrible idea. But it always makes me remember that my friend's birthday is today, the 16th, and he celebrates on St. Patrick's Day because he is Irish. He does have red hair. And I remember several years going out with him on St. Patrick's Day and living it up. Oh, thank you.
Great, thanks, Farron. Ty, would you like to share some of your experiences?
Sure. I guess I would go with the what woman shaped you in your life, and mine is my grandmother. When I was a kid, my mom was sick, my father was sick, and so I was actually in foster care for a little while. So my grandmother had been proposed to by a man who was moving to Fresno. We lived in LA at the time. And she said, "Hey, I can't go. My grandson needs me right now." And he said, "Bring him." And so they brought me here. And, she was my mother. She passed away a couple years ago. And, but she is who I am because, she was my compass in life. She the one who counseled me, and so did her husband, I became very close with. He was like a father to me as well. But she was Rosie the Riveter. She worked on B-52 planes during the war effort. She was a single mother of 3. She got her high school diploma at 50 just so she could get it. And she was just always a fighter. And she is the reason who I am, or who I've become. So.
Thanks for sharing.
Absolutely.
Great, thanks, Ty.
Patrick's Day, but I also have memories like Farron. So.
Okay, well, it looks like we still have actually a fair amount of time left since we had just one speech today. Anybody else would like to go as far as our table topics are concerned? Sarah, I know you've had a lot of influential women probably in your life, or if you'd like to share with some St. Patrick's memories, that'd be great.
I'm sure I had several influential women, but no particular one stands out right now. So I'll just talk about when Denny had mentioned the birthdays. I actually have 2 friends who are complete opposites of each other that share that same birthday. So one is an ex-boyfriend and one is a good friend. And the ex-boyfriend is super shy and quiet and doesn't like a whole lot of people around. And the other is out there and loves people and like, let's go do everything. And so that was really fun to celebrate her 30th birthday with her. We did a mud run. We went and did painting. We went to the Gettysburg Museum and just had this awesome entire weekend of celebrating on this St. Patrick's Day. So that's probably my most memorable, and it's not directly related to St. Patrick's Day, but because her birthday's on St. Patrick's Day, that becomes memorable. I also really, really like Shamrock Shakes from McDonald's, so that's probably one of my favorites. Thank you, Brent.
Me too.
They're good.
I know that's my kid's favorite part of St. Patrick's Day is the Shamrock Shakes. So, Joey, would you like to share some thoughts?
Yeah, so I have a St. Patty's Day memory. It's probably not my favorite, especially at the time. And it was rather not fortuitous because my wife and I were studying abroad in Italy, and we planned to go and spend spend St. Patrick's Day in Dublin, Ireland. So we had to get to Dublin a day early because they were having a bus strike, the Irish, and they say that the day after Thanksgiving, St. Patrick's Day, my holidays mixed up, that nobody's working. Everything's shut down because everybody's trying to get over their hangover. So we went a day early to get to Dublin. So we bussed in. My wife and I was starting to get dark because we went that night. We were going to spend the day doing St. Patty's Day stuff. And the minute we step off the bus, there's stuff going on. There's restaurants, there's bars, pretty lively. And we step off the bus and we see these three people, two women and a male, and it looked like there were two, maybe around 18 years old to 20 years old, the male and female, and then you had an older female that was in the middle of them, and the older female was pushing the male back, trying to push back, and then all of a sudden, out of the blue, the male comes and he just goes, knocks the old lady down. I don't know if that was his mom. I don't know if that was her mom. I don't know if that was an innocent bystander, but the minute we get off the bus, we're thinking this is going to be a gay old time in Dublin, Ireland, St. Patty's Day, everybody laughing and drinking and things like that. And the minute we step off the bus, this guy clings this old lady's clock. So it's kind of interesting. So it wasn't one of my favorite memories, but it was one of my lasting St. Patty's memories.
All right, well, that's kind of a crazy story, so but memorable. Winnie, looks like we got about 5 to 7 more minutes. Winnie, do you have any?
Yes. I think the woman that influenced me is my best friend in high school. That moment, I really focused on my study, everyday study, even class got off, and all the students go to play. I just stay there to learning. And my friend come here. Can you play with me 10 minutes? I said, no, I don't have time. I need to learning. She said, can you play with me just 5 minutes, just 5 minutes? Sometimes I said, okay, 5 minutes. Maybe sometimes I just say just 1 minute. But from that moment later, I play with her more and more. Guess what? The end of the term, my score is higher than before. So I thought play and working maybe can keep together. If you always focus on working, study, it can make me tired and not to affect work. If we make working and relax together, maybe getting better. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Winnie. And we've went through everyone except for Denise, so we'll let Denise chime in for
Well,
just a little bit, and then we'll go on to our.
I'll spare everyone my tears and not talk about the influential women in my life today, because I already got a little choked up listening to Winnie. That's true friendship and really important to keep a balance in life. I like that message. I have a really horrible St. Patrick's Day memory, not because I went out, not because I got drunk, but I had taken a job working on a St. Patrick's evening at the Irish pub that was downtown. Finn McCool's, does that sound right? Was that downtown?
Maybe.
Does anybody know that's old enough? I had never really gone there, but somebody was doing like temp employment, like bartenders and cocktail waitresses. And I had server experience and I wanted the extra money. And I thought, oh, I'm going to make so much money on St. Patrick's Day in tips, right? I get there and it's script. So people come in, they purchase a certain amount of script, and that's what I'm going to be dealing with. I'm not going to have actual cash, to deal with. That's fine. People come in and sit down and they're ordering their drinks. And all of a sudden the manager comes over and says, I need to take you off of the floor. I need a bartender. And I am 22 years old. I've never bartended. I don't know how to say no yet. And they stick me behind this bar. And I have to tell you that there are probably a lot of people who were at that event who remember it as the drunkest they've ever been, because since I didn't know what I was doing, they were all telling me how to make their drinks. So you can imagine that they probably got some really heavy-handed drinks and kept saying, go to that bar, because that bartender has no idea what she's doing.
Love it.
And then I got stiffed most of the night and really didn't make any money. So
Very altruistic there, Denise.
Right. I know I've bartended in small town bars that my friends owned, and you almost had to be a little drunk behind the bar, or else you took everything to heart because your friends were kind of jerks. They got to be after they've been vibing. But thank you everybody for participating. That was kind of a long drawn out table topics, but that's helped us get back on schedule. So we'll turn it over to our
Chanel.
Chanel.
Thanks, Brent.
Thank you, Brent. Thank you for keeping us going and filling up that time with table topics. Well, my job is just to introduce our speech evaluator today, who is going to give Joey some feedback on his speech. So please welcome Sarah Dawson.
Thanks. Joey, I think this is probably one of the what's the right word, favoriter, more favorite, one of my favorite ones of yours. I just really enjoyed how you did it all and the emotion that you got into it, and the whole turning the hat backwards and posing as a person, and I saw the nods from everybody else when you asked if you'd ever seen whatever show that was from. I had no clue what you're talking about, but at least everybody else did, because I saw lots of nods and everybody going out. But just like the theatrics getting into it, I thought was great. Also, you have it totally dialed in with it. The background is perfect. The lighting's great. Like just all of it. You're like in the center of the screen, just poised perfectly and all of that. And just well groomed. Just it looks really good. Just the whole atmosphere that you're in. Some of the things there's lots of things I was trying to write down really quickly of all the things I liked, because there were so many. But of course, your speeches are always super organized, from beginning to end. They're, tell them what you told them, and you tell us that all the time, and you did it perfectly, exactly what's going to be happening. And then you repeat it at the end, like what is going on. Let's see, all the differences. I liked all the quotes. You give really great examples, keeping us, keeping the flow going, and all the examples are awesome. I think one of the things that maybe just for the future to, I think there was a time when you said, you're not as good as this other actor that did that. And I don't know. And we probably all know that, or else you'd be in Hollywood, but I don't think that added anything to your speech. I don't think it was like something that made it, bolstered it up or did anything. I guess, it's fine if you want to, but it maybe taking that kind of stuff out would be great. And I think for me, I am a super visual person. So for me, like when you did the fingers, I think that part was great. I would love to see like the things written out so that I can remember them. Because I think there was like 3 S's that you had said, and I was able to kind of write them down, study, sample, and show. But I'm so busy writing them down that I'm like, okay, what is he actually saying on those things? So like being able to have like another visual of some sort, especially because you're talking about like being able to delegate and being structured and being organized. Well, lists and like visual cues, I think would be really awesome with that. So just something to challenge yourself next time. Once again, I just thought it was an excellent speech. Everything just came together perfectly on this one. I really liked it. So thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sarah, for your feedback. Now we are going to move on to reintroducing our evaluation team so that they can give us our reports for the day. So firstly, please welcome Storm to give us our timer report.
All right. I was on it today with the timer report. I was your timer for today, and I think that it was a fortuitous event, an opportunity that I'm actually here, because it was the chance that I was actually introduced to it through YouTube. So our main speaker was Joey, and he came in at 7 minutes 47 seconds. And then we had our evaluator, Sarah. She came in at 2 minutes 48 seconds, which is perfect. Our table topics today was about St. Patrick's Day and who affected you the most. And so Farron, you were at 1:20. Denny, 1:06. Denise, you were at 2 minutes. Chanel at 1:37. I was at 1:13. And Sarah was at 55 seconds. She almost made it to a minute. Ty, you're at 1:12. And Winnie was at 1:22. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Storm. It sounds like we all did pretty good today. Good job, guys. All right, next, please welcome Winnie, who is going to give us our all-counter report. Winnie, you can lay it on us.
Thank you, Chanel. This is my report. For Joy's speech, one arm, one soul. Shara, evaluator, she had 3 arms, 2 you know, 2 butt, 2 soul. For table topic, Brent, 1 soul, Danny, 1 arm, 1 soul. Chanel, I didn't catch anything. Storm, 1 arm. Farron, 1 butt. Ty, 1 arm, 1 soul. 4 you know. And Shara and Denise, I didn't catch anything. Thank you.
Thank you, Winnie. Very thorough. And I'll wrap myself out. I did have one. I caught myself. So, okay. And then finally, welcome Farron to give us our grammarian report for today.
Thank you, Chanel. It was not a very fortuitous word because I only heard it twice. Joe used it during table topics and Storm during his report, unless I missed anybody. Don't think so. I didn't even use it myself other than introducing the word. Let's work on our vocabulary more next meeting.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, evaluation team, for your work today. We so far have stayed on track in this meeting. Thank you, Joey, for your speech. I think that it was very insightful because there's something in that all of us can apply to our lives in many different areas. Thank you, Brent, for leading our table topics. I think that you are a very good table topics master, the way that you keep things going and allow everybody to have an opportunity to speak. So that is my summation of the meeting. And with that, I will turn it back over to Farron to close us out.
Thank you, Chanel. I agree. It was an awesome meeting, a very good topic, Joey. Everyone can use some of that advice. And you made me laugh when you're talking about, Ma, get me this, Ma, get me that, because yes, that was a situation here in my house. And I give my kids the same response. Do you have legs? Are your arms broken? Why can't you get it yourself? And they do a lot of things for themselves now. So very good. I would like to give a virtual sticker to Chanel for taking over the role last minute. Another virtual sticker to Ty for taking Zoom Master on for the first time. Virtual sticker, obviously, to Joey for his awesome speech. I don't think I missed anyone. Remind me if I have. And we can move on to filling out next week's agenda. The theme for March 23rd is National Puppy Day. Would anyone like to be the Toastmaster?
Sure, I'll do it. Chanel.
Okay.
Yep.
And then I have speakers, myself, Heather, and Denny. Denny, you're still good to go? I'm good to go. I'll email Heather. And then we need 3 evaluators.
You can put me down for one, Farron.
Okay, thanks, Joey. Denise? Would anyone else like to give an evaluation?
Did you get Denise, Farron?
Yes.
Okay.
Joey, Denise.
Who's speaking next week? Am I on that list
No.
to speak? If
No.
I'm not speaking, then I can evaluate or whatever else you want me to do.
Perfect. Table topics master, we might not have time for it, but just in case, would anyone like to take table topics?
I'll take it.
Hi, thank you. General evaluator? I'm going to give it back to Taylor, actually. Hopefully she can fill that role next week. Grammarian?
Storm?
Sure.
It's a silence. I don't know why.
Counter,
I can do that.
Brent, thank you. Timer, Winnie.
Winnie?
All right, and Zoom Master.
I can do that, Baron.
Okay, thanks, Joey.
Unless somebody wants to give it a try. It wasn't too painful, was it, Ty?
No, I mean, I'd be willing to do it again if needed, for sure.
All right, sounds good. And then for March 30th, I have speakers Sarah and Ty. Is that still, you guys still good to go?
What, it's on the 30th, you said?
March 30th, yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
Cool. And I am completely open on April 6th. Would anyone like to plan a speech for April 6th?
Brent?
You can put me down also, Karen.
Chanel and Brent?
Awesome. Sounds good. And any other questions, comments, concerns for today's meeting?
I'd just like to know what convention Chanel's at.
Coffee house, looks like.
I'm at my church.
Okay.
There's a lot of people here. Don't tell anyone.
Anything else from anyone?
Easter.
All right.
What about Easter? Is the 6th meeting, is that a?
Yeah, I have our theme down as Easter eggs because it is after Easter. Everyone pretty much gets Monday off. So do you want to cancel on that Tuesday or can most people make it? I can make
I can
it.
make it.
I can make it.
Okay.
Everybody good for keeping that one?
All right. Well, yeah, we'll just.
do it.
Cool. All right. Well, we'll see you guys next Tuesday, March 23rd.
All right.
Have a great week, everybody. Great work.
Thanks, Aaron.
Guys,
Guys.
stay safe.